Welcome to this session, very special session we have today. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. We're excited for you to join us today, and we'll be exploring with Akron the real world ready transformative learning looks like at the University of Akron. We're excited to hear from all of our panelists and for you to be able to learn more about this fantastic university and what they have to offer. So we will have Professor Dan as well, who'll be with us, and we will also have some students, which I'll go to introduce in a little while. But before we begin, I'd like to also take a moment to introduce myself. My name is Pinder Chauhan, and I'm the relationship manager at Immuni Global, and I take care of the UK, the US, and Europe. So it's great to have this insight and to be able to speak to you all today. It's actually be great to understand where you've come from in the world. So feel free to drop in the channel in the Q&A box if there's any what areas you come from as well, so we know who we're speaking to with our global family. I'll also like to introduce our panelists. So, an introduction to our speakers. We have Professor Dan Stone with us, who is we have Dan Stone, who's the Director of Graduate Programs, College of Business in the University of Akron. Dan advises students in aligning their academic career and personal goals while connecting them to essential campus resources and support services to help ensure their overall success. We are also very happy to have with us Aishwarya Pai, who's a current student, and she'll be speaking about her experiences. She's studying Master of Science in Management Business Analytics, Information Systems Management at the University of Akron. Aishwarya is a cloud and data professional with more than 6 years of experience delivering end-to-end cloud architecture, automation, and analytics solutions. We are also very lucky to have with us Emily Fernandez, who's also a current student pursuing her Master of Science in Economics at the University of Akron. She brings with her a valuable student perspective to today's session, offering insights into academic life, campus resources, and what it's like to really pursue being a graduate and studying for graduate studies at the UA. I also have some housekeeping. So before we begin, there's a few notes for you to take note of. We highly encourage you to ask questions throughout the webinar. Please use the Q&A box in the webinar interface to submit them at any time. And our speakers will do their best to address your questions as we progress through the key topics and discussions. So you don't need to wait until the end of this session to put your Q&As in the box. Please do distribute them as this goes on as well as we have this webinar, and so that we can then formulate some of those answers for you. Right. So as we move on, I'd like to introduce Professor Dan, who will now cover the next session with you. Dan, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Pinder. And just a little bit more about myself. I was an international student myself. I did my master's degree up in Durham in the UK. So I definitely have some idea of what it's like to kind of be able to look outside of your home country when you're looking for your education. But kind of moving on, talking just a little bit about the University of Akron. We've been around for quite a while. We were first founded in 1970 as Bookville College, and then kind of transitioned in over to become the University of Akron in 1926. We introduced the first rubber chemistry courses in the world, 1909, and established Rubber Technical Institute. Akron is known, and I'll talk a little bit more about this as we go through, but definitely a big rubber producing area, and a lot of big tire industry in the city of Akron. We became kind of going back to the university. We transitioned to a state school in 1967. So we are part of the state of Ohio system. We had a major campus expansion in the early 2000s, where we added 22 new buildings to our campus and increased our green space by over 34 acres. And we recently had our 150th anniversary back in 2020. So, moving on to some of the what we call the why. Why should you consider Akron when you're looking for your studies? We have a really strong global and inclusive environment. We have international students from over 70 different countries, and we were ranked in the top 10% for international student commitment. We offer a lot of STEM and specialized academic programs. Our College of Engineering and Polymer Science has a lot of these, as well as here in our College of Business, where I'm associated. We provide lots of support to our students. We have a really strong international center and team that work with all of our international students. So you're going to get help from the time that you apply all the way through orientation, help with the visa processing and our health system. So we're there with you all the way through the process from the time you first get your application submitted until you graduate. As far as housing goes, we do have guaranteed housing on campus throughout your academic journey as well. So you don't have to worry about that. There's also off-campus opportunities as well. Excuse me. You can also, if when you look at probably one of the biggest reasons that I say is to kind of look at that return of investment and how cost effective a school such as Akron is. You're able to, for your example, I work out with our graduate programs. You're able to complete a master's degree in as little as 18 months in the STEM category. And then with that STEM designation, you're also allowed to work off your student visa for up to 3 years in the US without having to apply for a work visa. So that's definitely one of the perks of our program. Next, I'd like to talk a little bit about just where the University of Akron is located. We're located right in the heart of the city of Akron. It's a metropolitan area. And so we're right. I can walk a block from my office, and there's several large companies that are right there that we partner with in the College of Business. But we also are the world headquarters for the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, Gojo. They work do Purell hand sanitizer if you're familiar with that. So lots of business there, but there's also lots of opportunities for you to go out and experience a thriving culture. There's a theater, there's music, there's a national park just a few miles from campus. So lots of opportunities, no matter what you like. If you like downhill skiing, we're less than 20 minutes away from two different downhill ski areas. So professional sports teams, both in Akron and in Cleveland, which is only about 40 minutes away. So it's a great location. As far as networking goes, we have Cleveland, like I mentioned, it's only about 40 minutes away. We're less than 2 hours away from Columbus, Ohio, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So lots of industry and businesses to connect with there as well. And then we have really easy access. So when you're flying in, we have the Akron Canton Airport, and then we also have the Cleveland Airport as well. So lots of easy access to get to Akron. Definitely a kind of a great opportunity for you to get out and meet with, excuse me, to get out and interact with the community. So next, I'd like to talk a little bit about our College of Business. We've been teaching business classes here at the University of Akron since 1915. And we were first became our own college in 1953. So we've been, again, at this for a while. One of the big things especially in our graduate programs, is the majority of our programs are STEM focused but we also have STEM programs within our undergraduate program as well. If you wouldn't mind going to the next slide. Thank you. Um, so yeah, one of the things that we really strive to do is to make sure that our students have that technical, analytical, problem-solving skills that you need to be able to work in the new business landscape. So where everything's driven by data. Um, so we want to make sure our students know how to interpret that data and then be able to put that into a usable form for the companies that they're working with. Our STEM aligned curriculum offers our students the chance to use those technology driven business roles. The curriculum focuses on analytics, data modeling, machine learning, emerging business technologies, AI, for example. We've just added a new program to our undergraduate degree that I'll talk more about shortly. Um, but we also make sure that our coursework is aligned with industry and supported by certification, specialized tools. We work with very closely with our advisory boards to make sure that our students are getting what the industry is telling us that they need. Um, and then with our STEM programs too, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, you do have the OPT, the optional practical training that allows you to work after you complete your degree in the US on your student visa. For our STEM programs, well, for all of our business programs, you're eligible for 1 year of OPT, but for the STEM focused ones, you're able to get an additional 24-month extension, which gives you a great opportunity to build your skills um, in the U.S. workforce. So just kind of looking at some of our undergraduate programs, we have 14 different undergraduate degrees, but the ones I want to kind of focus on today are those STEM designated ones. For our undergraduate, we have our Bachelor's of Business Administration and Business Data Analytics. That builds a strong analytical and statistical skills, really helping our students understand how to make decisions using that data. Then we also have a Bachelor's of Business Administration. This is the new degree that I was talking about in Applied AI and Information Systems. That focuses obviously on AI, but automation, information systems, as they're used in the business and industry as well. And then we also have, for anybody that's interested in sports, we have a sports analytics program that combines data science and sports business to really kind of help our students look at both performance analysis, strategic insights, but also you can use the sports analytics and the marketing side and the finance side. So it really lots of different options that you can take to work in sport um, on the sport analytics side. Then on the graduate side, 5 out of our 6 programs are STEM designated programs. We have our Master's of Business Administration. That's our one that is not a STEM program, but we have 2 programs in our Master's of Science in Management, Business Analytics, one with a focus in information systems and the second in supply chain. Looking at the information systems one, well, actually, both of these to start out with have a core business analytics program to it. So there's uh, kind of between the 2 programs, you'll take exactly the same 4 classes in that area, but then you'll get to specialize between the 2. For our information systems, then it'll be focusing more on data management, information systems, analytics, project management, kind of as they're used to help businesses and industry kind of make those decisions and figure out what their computing needs are. On the supply chain side, again, besides that core, the business analytics core, you're going to focus on logistics, supply, procurement, and then also we're going to give you analytical tools specifically for that supply chain. And both of those, they also offer you some opportunities with electives to really target and make the degree fit what your business goals are. Over in, if we could go back to that one really quick. Our Masters of Taxation, we have Masters of Taxation, Masters of Accountancy, both of those from our School of Accountancy. The taxation degree focuses on preparing our students for those more specialized roles within tax. With the accountancy, that really helps to set up our students. They're using the more current technology. You're going to have AI, you're going to have business analytics within there, and it really helps to prepare you to be a certified accountant. And then our final program is our Master's of Science in Economics, which emphasizes econometrics, modeling, data analysis to support research, forecasting, and policy focused decision making. It's a great degree, whether you're looking to jump right into the workforce or to take that on to the PhD level. So next, I'd like to talk a little bit about our entry requirements and fees. On the undergraduate side, we have we require that you have completed your secondary or high school equivalent to the U.S. grade 12, that you have a minimum 2.8 GPA on a 4-point scale, your completion certificate, and then if English is not your native language, then we do have a minimum requirement for English proficiency. We offer lots of different ways at the undergraduate level for you to satisfy that, whether that's TOEFL, the IELTS, the SAT, the ACT, Duolingo, Peterson, Language Cert, the Cambridge Advanced English, or the GTEC. So lots of different options that you have to meet those requirements. And then again, at the undergraduate side, kind of talking, we do offer some scholarships. These are merit-based. They range from $1,000 to $5,000, depending on what your GPA was. So if your GPA was a 3.30 or above, you'll get a $5,000 scholarship. If it was in that 2.5 to 3.29 range, it's a $3,000 scholarship, and above a 2.4, it's a $1,000 scholarship. So there's no separate application that you need. The students are automatically, based off of their admission application, they're determined for these scholarships. So that's not anything that you would have to apply to separately. Switching over to the graduate side, so you do need a 4-year bachelor's degree or an international equivalent from an accredited institution. We will need your official academic transcripts with a certified English translation if they're not in English. And then we're looking for a GPA of 2.5 or above. We will need English proficiency scores if your native language is not English. A little bit higher requirements just because of the level of work. Also, we don't offer quite as many options, but TOEFL score, and IELTS, Duolingo, or the language certification academic scores are all acceptable there. In addition to that, we don't require the GMAT or the GRE for any of our graduate programs. We just ask for a statement of purpose, which is 1 to 2 pages, kind of focusing on why you're interested in the program, how you see the program helping you meet your career goals, a copy of your resume or CV, and then for our Masters of Science in Economics, if you're interested in that program, that one does require 2 letters of recommendation as well as proof of calculus, statistics, and economics at the undergraduate or graduate level. So shifting over now to look at fees, kind of, again, assume most of you are looking at starting for the fall of 26, so I'll kind of focus on those numbers. For tuition and fees, you're looking at about just under $22,000. Living expenses about $13,500. Health insurance about $1,400, personal expenses between 3 and 4,000, kind of a total amount of $4,454 per year. So this is kind of based on student attending for the fall and spring semesters. Um, if you are planning on bringing a spouse or a dependent with you, you can kind of plan on about an extra little over $4,000 to have for that. Um, as it mentions here on the slide, that our international students are typically listed as out-of-state residents for tuition purposes. So there is that the fees that go along with that. And then for the room and board, just to make sure that you're aware, these are kind of the mid-range on the housing and meal plans to give you a good ballpark. So it could be a little bit more, it could be a little bit less, depending on what your individual needs are. And then taking a look at the graduate side, again, we're looking at, depending on if you're planning on taking summer classes or not, there's a little bit of additional fees kind of built in there. But you're looking at about 17,000 for if you're just doing the fall and spring semesters. Again, about that same living expenses as the undergrads at 14,400, health insurance 1,400, and the personal expenses again about the same. So you're looking at just a little bit less, 36,300 for those. A couple other things that aren't included in these numbers. If you do a co-op, which I strongly recommend, there is a $125 fee per semester for doing that. However, you can also take those as an internship and then actually receive credit for it, but then you're paying the full tuition amount for the 3 credits for the internship. Also, there could be some occasional course fees per class that aren't included on here, and those are just for things like field trips, maybe access to computer software. Sometimes instructors will include your books in that number as well. All right. So that brings us to employability, and that's one of our strengths that we have, is that we really do our best to make sure our students are supported so that they're going to be able to take their degree directly to the workforce. And one of the ways that we do that is we have a really strong commitment and partnership with our career services. The university as a whole has a career services team that can help with a variety of things, but we have a dedicated members from the career services team right in the College of Business that work specifically with our business students. So they can help you with a wide variety of things to help make sure you're prepared. They can do one-on-one career advising, career exploration, job planning, searches. All of our students have access to a site called Handshake, where we have internships, co-ops, part-time and full-time jobs. All these are been vetted by our career services team to ensure that there are actual positions that are available. Sometimes you may see, like on the bigger job boards, a lot of companies will post them out there, but there's not actually a real job that goes with it. All of these are vetted openings. We also provide services like resume review, help with LinkedIn, things like that as well. So some of the other things we have the experiential learning in our Excel Center. It's a great way that the university interacts with the local business community. So there's lots of opportunities for students to do hands-on projects and different activities along the way, especially with internships, partnerships, sometimes a little bit smaller scale. Instead of doing a full semester-long internship, it can give you a chance for some smaller projects as well. Then, of course, we also offer on-campus student employment. Students are able to work up to 20 hours per week on campus, and there's a lot of positions out there, whether that's helping out in some of our departments in the college or other colleges across campus, our admissions office, our financial aid office. They all have lots of opportunities. Definitely a way that can and kind of help with your living expenses and things like that as you're studying. Then in the College of Business, we have several different centers and institutes that help kind of specialize and give you the opportunity to do more research, to learn more about your fields, and a great way for reaching out and doing networking. Just the main ones that we have: the Fisher Institute for Professional Selling, the Fitzgerald Institute for Entrepreneurial Studies. So if anybody's out there wanting to start their own company, it's a great resource there. Our Institute for Global Business, a lot of our international students obviously are going to be involved in that. Um, great, great way to meet students from all over the world. Our Center for IT and Analytics is especially for those students looking at the information systems programs. It's a great resource. Our Taylor Institute for Direct Marketing, the Institute for Leadership Development, and then our Suarez Applied Marketing Research Laboratories are all great ways for students to get those um, extra opportunities to learn and get experience besides just what they're learning in the classroom. And then I believe that brings us to our internships and co-ops. Um, Definitely something that I encourage all of our students to do. It is, in our opinion, from the College of Business, one of the most important ways that you're going to be able to take that education that we're providing you and really put it to use to gain those skills so you can see it working in the real world. We have internship pathways with lots of local companies, Sherwin-Williams, Deloitte, Timken, Goodyear, all to whatever area you're interested in, even if it's not you may be in a marketing person, but you don't have to necessarily go to a marketing firm. You could do marketing for one of these larger companies, or vice versa. You could go to a smaller firm where you're going to get probably a different experience. So we definitely encourage that. A lot of our students receive full-time job offers after they've done these. So it's a great way of getting experience, but also hopefully opening the door for you for the future. And then again, these are all paid internships. We don't encourage students to do any non-paid ones. So, and they're with national, regional companies. So lots of great networking experience and stuff along the way as well. So that kind of brings me to my last thing. I just kind of pulling everything together. Why do we feel that the University of Akron College of Business is the best choice out there? It's because we offer a nationally recognized, experience-driven education that helps prepare our students for the real world. So we have dual AACSB accreditation. If you're not familiar with the AACSB, that's one of the top accrediting bodies for business schools internationally. And we're not only accredited for the College of Business, but also separately for our School of Accountancy. And that puts us in the top 1.15% of business schools internationally that have that dual accreditation. We're consistently ranked and well regarded across the Midwest for academic quality and industry relevance. We have over 33,000 alumni from the College of Business, including more than 900 of those in C-suite positions or other leadership roles. Our courses are all taught by our full-time faculty that have that deep professional knowledge, the academic knowledge, but they also have industry experience as well, so they're able to blend those two together. And then that professional development that's kind of built into every program, ensuring that our students are ready to go out into the workforce once they graduate.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Dan. That was very insightful. Thank you for all the information that you shared, and I'm sure that the audience would have found that very engaging and interesting to have listened to. Also interesting to hear that you're from Durham originally. Obviously, I'm based in the UK as well, so that always there's always that kind of linking back to there as well. But I couldn't tell by your accent. You've turned
Uh,
very American.
no, and now I'm not originally from Durham. I just did my degree over there.
Oh, you
So
did your degree from there.
uh,
Okay, I misunderstood. I was going to say, there you go. Great.
yeah,
So
no
we
no
are
dirty
now at the
accents.
yeah, yes. All right, we are now at the panel Q&A point of this presentation. So, and I see we've also got some questions as well from our audience, which I will ask after this. But panel, so can we go over to the Q&A questions, please? Right, so I'm going to ask Ashwira this first. How would you describe your teaching style in, no, actually, this would be for Dan. How would you describe a teaching style in your program to a student who has only experienced education in their home country? Actually, no, I'm sorry. Ashwari, that is for you. I just had a bit of a moment there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pender. So, I'm originally from India. So I did my bachelor's in India. So it's really different how the things or the teaching style is progressing in the US and in India. So we do have a lecture based, completely lecture based teaching style. Back in my home country, we do projects, we do labs, but I would say here it is more inclusive. You are not sitting for a long lecture, but parallelly you are doing the labs. You get to do the projects or do the group discussions. So that was one difference I could notice. Back in India, you will have sessions separately for your lab, separately for your lecture. Here it's all inclusive. And back in India, the curriculum is fixed in a way that, if you're planning for your second semester in a program, there is a fixed thing that, these are the courses you get, and this is what you should take. But here in the US, it's way different than that. You will be given with a list of offerings from where you could choose. You can plug and play with your schedule. Oh, I want to take this in spring, I want to take the other one in fall. So you have that flexibility to choose the courses, choose the offerings, choose the sessions as per your convenience, without contradicting with your existing classes. So you can mix and match that way. And especially in the program which I am in, the business analytics and information systems one, they offer the classes during the evenings. So many students who are working, or students who are doing the degree as a part-time and working here in the US, they can also have the flexibility to attend the classes, which is again different. And the other one thing I noticed was we had multiple sessions from industry professionals. They'll be visiting us during our classes. They'll be giving us a guest lecture. That do happens in India, but not as frequently as here. What I have seen. So we had someone from Goodyear visiting us and talking about their digital transformation, their data migration. So um, hearing what you study just in your books and theory from an industry professional who has actually done that makes a lot of difference. So we had such guest lecture happening from industry professionals. And like Dan talked about, the Center for IT and Analytics, CETA, what we call it. So they also offer you events like the Business Analytics Innovation Summit, which happens annually here. It's a wonderful opportunity for the students to network with these industry professionals. I could see one question in the Q&A related to this. How are we interacting with the real company partners? So the associations and boards like CETA is a splendid opportunity for that. I've been part of the summit for the last 2 years. I've been part of the little bit of the organizing committee as well. So that was a great experience. I've met the advisory board members. We have been in constant conversations with them. So it's a great opportunity to network, to see what actually happens in the industry, as well as to pitch yourself for, say, internships or any full-time roles. You could pitch pitch yourself. This is what my background is. This is what I'm learning. This is my recent project. So, yeah, those are a couple of the differences which I noticed from what happens back in my home country and what's different here.
Excellent. That's a very
Thank you.
great comparison, and there's some great insights as well, particularly on like the practical learning and some of the opportunities you've had with guest speakers
Yeah.
coming in and so on, which would be fantastic for any student. Great. So we have another question as well. So this one is for Dan. How does the College of Business introduce career preparation of professional development?
Yeah, and I noticed this one I think ties a little bit into some of the questions that I saw in the Q&A. So if
Yeah.
we don't answer them here, I'll be happy to talk about them more later. One of the first things is we have 13 different advisory boards that make sure that the the programs that we're presenting and delivering to our students are meeting what industry is looking for.
Mhm.
So these are typically, the CEOs, major decision makers in these companies. So they're the ones that are making sure they know what they need for employees when they come in. So that really helps
Keeping
um,
them fit for
them.
the future.
Yeah, exactly. And then a couple of different ways. On the undergraduate level, we actually have we have specific curriculum that we build right in, such as a business development seminar that everyone takes. So in that, you're going to go through learning about preparing for internships, preparing for co-ops, learning different tools, how to set up your resume, how to do interview, how to present yourself in an interview. And sometimes these skills can differ from your home country to a U.S. market. So we can kind of help students, as they're preparing to do an interview for an internship or whatever in a U.S. company. Maybe you're gonna want to present yourself in a little bit different format. So we also kind of build into all of our courses that real world kind of experiences, kind of like Ashwarya mentioned. We'll bring in guest speakers from industry. We have a lot of different uh, academic clubs and things as well. So if you're looking for a specialized area that you can gain that in. Some of the other things that we have, especially like in our graduate courses, our professors work really closely with those business leaders, and at times we'll actually have our students using their real live data with the companies and helping to give a company make that decision for maybe a new marketing plan or helping them decide is this the time to buy this new whatever machinery or whatever that they could be looking at buying. Is like what are the trade-offs, or is this new software going to save us enough money to cover the cost of it, things like that. So you're getting that real world live experience, and I think that's really what helps set us apart from a lot of schools.
That's it. No, that's again another great insight as well. What I'm getting is a feeling of, you know, Akron is preparing students and giving them the skills while they're working to be able to be work ready, and giving them that exposure as well and that real life learning at the same time. So that's really great to hear, Dan. Thank you. And I'm sure this
Yeah.
is something that we could, some of the audience could then pass on as well to some of their networks and the students when they are talking
Mhm.
to them to make a very key kind of attractive point for applying for the University of Akron. Right, so here we go. So, what are the biggest myths or misconceptions you've had about studying in the US? And how did the University of Akron change those perceptions? I'm going to ask Emily to come in on this one. And then Ashwira, you could also come in afterwards. Hi, Emily.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
No,
I
you're
think,
welcome. Thank you for being here.
yeah, this is a great question. I guess I thought that once you become an international student, especially in college and as a grad student as well, I think I believe that you're kind of on your own. Like you have to figure out things yourself, and that can make it, of course, a bit scary or daunting for sure. But this is not true at all. I mean, we get a ton of support from faculty, advisors, classmates. The International Center is also a huge resource here at the University of Akron. There's a ton of student organizations as well where you can connect with people from different countries, different cultures. Maybe you can find someone from your home country, and that can help you a little bit as well. So I think I would say other students that if you ever have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. You're not alone here at all, and this place is supposed to become sort of like a home away from home. So for sure. Try and make yourself acquainted to everything here and take your time. It doesn't have to come, the first week you're here. It could take some time, but for sure, I think Akron does a great job in that helping you with that adaptation process. So I think students can trust that they'll have plenty of support, and it's okay to have questions.
Amazing. I mean, that's really good insight into the university. It feels like you were made to feel very welcome as well, being an international student and helping you build that network around you as well. Um, Same question to Ashwira, if you could come in and just answer that question too.
Yeah, sure, I'd be happy to. So I think exactly what Emily said, I could resonate well with it. So any student who is stepping out of his or her home country to a new place, to a new country, to an entirely different culture would have, many questions in heart. Oh, how am I going to sustain there? So would it be isolating? There are pretty cultural shocks when we
Mm.
first step in, but Akron and whatever facilities or support we have, especially the international center, even people like Dan, they help us adapt to the new culture. They let us know very well in advance what to expect, what not to. So and similarly, everyone who is here is figuring out things, so they're all open to help you. And even if like Emily said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. One of the problems I felt when I was moving, we were all hesitant to ask questions, but uh, when you ask out for help, that makes your life very simple here. So that's one thing I felt, be open for a conversation. uh, you might not even realize how engaging it could be or how helpful it could be. So be open for a conversation, ask questions. And one other misconception I had, like, oh, pursuing masters in the US could be very overwhelming, very tight schedule, you are packed with stuff to do. But Akron, University of Akron, changed that as well. It's a very adaptive and very flexible schedule they offer us. And even the professors make sure that we get enough time to do our stuff. They plan the course material in such a way that, they care for every student in the class. If you lack one or more of the lessons and you ask for a little bit more time, they're flexible enough to offer you, some in-person classes to help you out. Or there are graduate assistants. I'm a graduate assistant for three of the professors. So these professors have these graduate assistants who are again open to help the students, especially the undergrad students, with their homework or with their project where they are stuck, just to hand hold them. And the curriculum wise also, they're trying to adapt it based on the industry requirements every time. So um it's not going to be, yeah, you have enough stuff to do. That is a reality, because you are choosing US for a reason. You are choosing a US university for a reason, so you would expect that kind of a schedule here. But it's not always overwhelming, or it's not always they don't intentionally stress you with. If you are on your proper schedule, or if you plan your things rightly, yeah, it is achievable. So that was another myth I had, which was changed being at UA. And I'm thankful for the support which I get here. Especially the
Oh,
professors in my department are very approachable. I can ask them for help. I can ask them for, some of the recorded lectures if I'm stuck somewhere. So yeah, that offers a lot of flexibility.
that's
Thank
fantastic to
you.
hear, Shreya. It's a really good insight. It looks like you've had a lot of misconceptions before you came that you've myth busted
Hmm.
before joining. And Amelia, that was, of course, thank you to you too for the insights that you're given as well in the question that we've just asked.
Thank you.
I think this is the end of our panel session now, and we're moving over to the Q&A session. We've got a couple of questions. I think one has already been answered by Dan, and the other one is about entry requirements. Dan, I'm not sure whether this is something you'll be able to pick up or something that we could get an answer to afterwards. But it's what will
Uh,
entry requirements for international student from mechanical engineering MS program.
I
Do
don't know the MS one off the
oh,
top of
please,
my head,
okay,
but we can
we'll get you that. Liz,
definitely get that
we'll
answer.
get you. Thank you. We will get you the answer for that and relay that back to you as well after the session. Well, great. Thank you so much to our panelists for that very insightful and engaging session. Thank you to all three of you for doing that and for your participation. So, just to our audience, just to let you know that this session has been recorded. We can send you the link as soon as we can, and you can revisit it at any point that you need to. And please do share it with your friends and colleagues as well. Uh, love to hear from you again. So please do get in touch if there's any feedback you have, anything else that you'd like to hear from these sessions. And look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.